Hi there. Generally, when you buy an album on Bandcamp which features the M8, the artist makes the bundle available as well. In other words, along with the high quality tracks which you can download and play, you get all the resources to load onto your M8 to enjoy. Wouldn't it have been great in 1967 to have been able to have downloaded Sgt. Pepper's, and that was only 4 tracks, and the M8 has 8 tracks of course. Buying M8 albums on Bandcamp is a great way to A. Support artists who have produced exceptional material on the M8. B. Enjoy listening to their songs. C. Learn how songs are put together by reverse engineering them. D. Have fun remixing and revoicing songs. E. Promote this amazing device and attract more musicians to buy it. Just a word about copyright. It's very important to get the permission of an artist to use her or his samples or synth sounds. In general, you should only use resources like this for your own pleasure. Obviously, any reselling of the songs or the samples or synth sounds within those songs is strictly forbidden and would be a breach of copyright. I think in general, with the artist's permission, you could use the samples and synth sounds in your own songs unless the samples contained actual recognisable vocal or instrumental performances or other people's samples that the artist has permission to use but cannot pass on to you. I don't think anyone's going to quibble about the reuse of the odd snare or kick sample. It goes without saying that many artists use other people's samples anyway. It's all a matter of common sense and common decency. Subscription services like Splice are great as all the samples are royalty free. I've had such a subscription for the past year. It cost me £79 and I got 1,200 samples for that. Electronic Sounds is also a great place to buy samples from, so check that out. Mikey 303 has very kindly given me the go-ahead to feature his music in this video. I think he's brought a great deal to the M8 community with his incredible musical skill and knowledge of the M8, and I'm very grateful to him. I strongly recommend buying his Warehouse Meditation M8 album as it's absolutely brilliant, and no, I'm not sponsored by him in any way. I also have M8 albums by Jeremy Blake and Llama, which are both excellent and recommended. Let's have a quick look at Bandcamp and how to view and buy albums on it. So here we are on Bandcamp and I'm looking at Mikey's album, and if you look you can see that I already own this album, so we're not going to see a price or anything, but you can play all the tracks on here. Let's just pick one here to play. So any of these tracks can be played, and I'm guessing it's in a reduced quality. But obviously if you want to have the tracks in your computer or your device, you need to download them, and to download them you need to buy them. So you can have a listen to the tracks and see if you like them. You can either buy individual tracks or the whole album. It's worth noting that if you buy an individual track, you don't get the M8 bundles. In other words, you can't download all the stuff you need to play that track on your M8. You need to buy the whole album to do that. It says here, full EP purchase includes the M8 bundles for each track on the release. So as you can see, I bought this album and I'm going to show you around one of the tracks in a moment. Let's look at another album that I haven't bought just to show you how it works. I have bought one of Llama's albums, which is brilliant. I haven't bought this one yet, probably will. It's called 7 Weeks, and down here it says buy digital album €5 or more. So you can pay like the minimum amount, or you can pay more if you like, if you feel strongly about the artist and their music. They're all very reasonably priced. So with Llama, you can buy everything he's done for this amount down here, $36.40, and again you can audition the tracks. If you go to buy digital album, click on this, and then you enter the amount, a discount code if you've got it, go to PayPal, and you'll then get an email with details of the download, and you can download it to your computer. You get a link to the file that's got all the M8 stuff on it, and basically it's very simple to get everything on your computer. As far as the bundles are concerned, you have to take the card out of your M8, put it in your computer, put the bundle in the bundles folder. On my M8 SD card I've got a bundles folder, and inside that folder I've got folders for the artists and for the albums that I bought from them. Suffice to say, it's very easy to do, very easy to get the tracks in your computer and everything you need inside your M8. So the track from Mikey's album Warehouse Meditation that I'm going to feature in this video is called Slskers, I think. I think that's short for Soul Seeker, and a Soul Seeker is someone who has used SoulSeek, which is a music file sharing network. I was very intrigued by the name of this track, and I did ask Mikey what the derivation was, and that is it. You can call it Soul Seekers or you can call it Slskers, whatever you like. Anyway, it's a brilliant track and I'm going to go through it. And like I say, it's from his Warehouse Meditation album. I've had my M8 for about 10 weeks now, and I thought I was doing pretty well with it until I started examining this track. It's fascinating to see somebody else's workflow. Mikey really uses every inch of the M8 to construct his song. He sometimes puts the same instrument and sound on different tracks to make the most of available slots. No unused chain slots are wasted, in other words. He even uses different instruments in the same phrase. It's also very interesting to see his use of the FM synthesizer to construct sounds like kick, snare, clap, cowbell, cymbal and hi-hats. I haven't even started looking at the FM synth yet, so I've got a long way to go and a lot to learn, I know that. So the track is at 130 beats per minute. Of course, once you've got the track in your M8, you can change the tempo to your heart's content. Let's have a look through this track by track, just fairly briefly, seeing what Mikey's done on this, and I can tell you, for me, it was a complete eye-opener, gave me all kinds of ideas, and that's the brilliant thing about buying these albums. It really kind of inspires you and shows you things you may not have even thought about. Let's just have a quick listen from the beginning. I won't play you the whole track, but I'll just give you a flavour of it. So there we are, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's just a fascinating, evolving piece of music. So let's solo track 1, and nothing happens until step 5. All these notes are empty chains, and here we've got a thing called Noise Riser. I'll play it. It's a bit of a slow burner, so be patient. So this is a WAV synth and it's on the noise shape. There's a low pass filter on it and the cutoff is set to 30. In the mods page there's an LFO doing the panning on mod 3. So it's a really good sound. Obviously phrase 16 is the start of all this. Here's your note and that cutoff with a repeat. And here's all the details on the instrument. So that is the Noise Riser, WAV synth, noise shape with an LFO controlling the panning. Let's go to step 6 and we've got this. Now this is a macro synth, it's called Nano Loop, this sound, and it's using the WAV paraphonic shape, which is the shape that creates chords. The colour down here is the thing that changes the chord. It's set to 30, which is a minor seventh. So if I change this, you'll hear the chord changing. And in fact, if I set this to A8, that's actually a major chord. But I'm going to change that back to 30, but it's the colour that changes the chord. So you're getting a chord, but from a single note. In the mods page for this instrument, you've got an envelope controlling the volume, one controlling the timbre, one controlling the cutoff. So an awful lot going on there in that one sound. And of course, over here you've got chorus, delay and reverb, a low pass filter. Tons going on just for that one sound. Also on this sound there are lots of pitch drops. If you look over here, there's a pitch control here. The panning is being controlled here. There's a pitch slide, a pitch shift. I mean, just loads going on. You wouldn't believe the amount that goes into one sound like that, would you? So he's been very creative with that one sound. I must admit, I'm a bit lazy with my sounds, and this is sort of teaching me to go a bit deeper. So that is Nano Loop. Really good sound. What else have we got here? Right, down here we've got this. Now this is called Trance Cheese, and it's a macro synth sound. Look over at one note. It's a saw swarm shape. Nothing happening on the mods page of this one. We've got the filter turned right the way up. So how are we getting that sound? It's a table. The table is actually controlling the volume. Like that. The tables are a bit of a dark art for most beginners on the M8, so it's great to see it being used there. That is Trance Cheese on the macro synth. Now down here, step OD, we've got the Nano Loop and an FM clap in the same phrase. And again there you see lots going on. You've got instrument 07 here, which is the Nano Loop, and here on step 4 you've got the clap. So nothing is wasted, all that real estate is being used. It's panning, this pitch sliding again because of that Nano Loop sound. The delay volume is being changed there on that clap. It's just a ton of things going on, isn't there? What's this over here, down here? The timbre is being changed on the Nano Loop sound. It's incredibly complicated, it's incredibly deep, isn't it? So here's the clap instrument, FM synth, as you can see, band pass filter, limiter set to sin. Also on the mods page, got an envelope controlling the volume, LFO controlling the pitch, envelope controlling mod 1. So the mod 1 in itself is being controlled by mod 2. It's really deep, isn't it? So that's that. So that's track 1. An incredible amount going on there, and that's only one track. Let's unsolo that. Let's move over to track 2. First time it comes in, solo it, and we've got this. Now track 2 is all about FM. It's got an FM cymbal, an FM clap, an FM cymbal and clap together, and a little bit later on that Trance Cheese sound from the first track has been moved over to this track. Now you perhaps wouldn't think about programming drum sounds on an FM synth, but they work really well. That's a kind of a, I suppose it's a crash, it could be a ride. Down here we've got the clap, the FM clap, and here we've got the cymbal and the clap. And down here we've got the Trance Cheese moved over from track 1. So not quite so busy that track, but still quite a lot going on. Let's move over to track 3. Now this absolutely did my brain in. I couldn't figure out what was going on. at all here. Let's just have a listen to the start of this track. So pretty obviously it's a synth with a filter opening, but I couldn't figure out how he was doing it. So I went into the track, went into the chain and the phrase. So it's obviously a TB-303, which is an old Roland synth bass from the 80s. I think it's pre-MIDI, this one. And let's go into the edit. And lo and behold, we've got this. A really, really, really long sample, a gap, and then another one. The sample on the left of the screen is on one note, and the sample on the right of the screen is on another note. So let's just have a quick look back at this, and there's phrase 34, and the note is C1. Now let's come back to here, and when this comes in a bit later on at step 9, the chain is 33, phrase 34, you'll see that the transpose is up 1. So it's using that other sample being triggered by a different transposition. So basically it's been moved up 1, so it's playing C sharp 1, whereas the one earlier was playing C1. It's really clever, isn't it? So in this instance, it's the sample on the right of your screen that's being triggered just by transposing the chain up 1 semitone. Quite amazing. Of course, when I was dropping into this in the middle of the song, like somewhere like here, I wasn't getting anything, because obviously you need to go from the beginning of the song to trigger that sample, to start that sample off. So really, really clever. That's track 3. Down here, by the way, making use of the real estate, you've got the noise riser, which has been moved over from track 1. Right, so that's track 3. Amazing stuff. I've learnt so much already just by delving into this song. Now track 4, and let's play it from where it comes in. Kind of a metallic sound. Move over to it. And it's just a single note. Here's the instrument, and it's a WAV synth. He's called the instrument Bandpass FX. It's a saw shape, and it's got a bandpass filter on it. There's a lot of chorus, a lot of delay, no reverb. Let's look at the mods page. We've got a AHD envelope on the volume. We've got an LFO on the pitch. We've got an LFO on the multi, and the multi, if you look in the actual main page, it's one of the parameters up here. It's very deep, isn't it? An awful lot going on there, but it's a great sound, isn't it? I think of a huge sheet of metal there when I hear that sound being kind of moved, being wobbled slightly. But lots of mods on this one. The other interesting thing about this particular sound is that on the chain, look at all these different transpositions. Nothing on phrase 40 first time, then second time phrase 40 it's gone to F4, then to 18, then to 0C. Let's just have a listen to how that gets moved around in terms of transposition. That transposition is something that I don't use enough, I think, so a good lesson learnt from this. Just imagine any M8 album you buy on Bandcamp, you can put it into your M8 and learn in this way, and it's just brilliant, isn't it? It's a fantastic way to get ideas and be inspired. Also on this track we've got this sound, which is a smooth bass, and it's an FM sound. Got a high pass filter on it. You've got a couple of mods on that, volume, and then mod 2 is modulating mod 1. It's done that again here. And like I say, I haven't even looked at the FM synth yet, and I've had my machine for 10 weeks and I've been working pretty non-stop on it, as you've seen by the amount of videos I've put out. But you know, this is another world I haven't even gone into yet. It's amazing. So 2 sounds on that track, track 4. Let's unsolo that one. Move over to track 5. This one's pretty straightforward. Track 5 is the kick drum, FM. You've got 3 modulators working on that. Mod 1 is an AHD envelope, an attack, hold and decay envelope on the volume. You've got mod 2 is modulating mod 1. That's obviously a trick he uses a lot and something I'm going to have to try. And mod 3 is an LFO, which is modulating the pitch. Just for a kick drum. It's amazing. No effects. This is interesting. The limiter over here is set to sin. If you change this, it really changes the tone, doesn't it? Let's put it back where it was on sin. High pass filter is set fairly low, the cutoff. Take it up. There's a lovely bit he does here. If I go from phrase 50 into phrase 52, listen to how the kick drum stutters. Great, isn't it? It really sounds good. So that is track 5, which is all kick drum all the way through, and it's a kick drum which has been synthesized using the FM synth, not a sample at all, but it's a really good sound, isn't it? Okay, let's go over to 6, track 6, we'll solo it. Track 6 is the snare drum, and not only that, it's also the cowbell, it's a rim shot. Let's have a quick listen to this when it comes in. FM again. Go into it, have a look. There's your FM synth, you see? High pass filter. Look at the mods page. Yeah, you've got envelope on the volume, on the pitch. You've got a mod 3 is controlling mod 2. And mod 4 is controlling mod 3. I wouldn't have a clue about this at the moment. Maybe one day when I get a bit better at all this, but it just shows you what goes into just a snare drum sound. Quite incredible, isn't it? Let's go to where we can hear some of those other sounds. In this phrase, we've got 3 sounds. So on step 0, we've got the cowbell. Step 2, we've got the rim shot, and step 4, we've got the snare. So 3 instruments there. We've got C is the cowbell, B is the rim shot, and 8 is the snare. Really making use of every slot available there, not wasting anything. Now I must admit, when I've been playing this track, I've been adding a little bit of reverb and just changing the cutoff frequency a little bit, just for my own interest, and I'll show you that in a while. Obviously you can do what you like with it once you've bought the track, as long as you don't put it out on the internet changed in any way, just for your own personal enjoyment. You can literally mangle the thing up as much as you like, remix it, take tracks out, change instruments, do whatever you want. That's the joy of this, isn't it? Oh, there's some lovely retrigs on this as well. On this phrase here, have a listen to this. It's really nice, that, isn't it? Let's go into that. These ratchets sound great. And there's a sound there, isn't there? How's he doing that? I think it's done here. That low sound is something to do with the FM phase, I think. And I wouldn't know what that means, but I think that's how he's getting that low sound at the beginning. Yeah, okay. Right, we're getting there. Let's unsolo this and move over to track 7. Notice I'm using the big font here for my poor old eyes, so if you want to see the normal stuff you see on the right hand side, just hold shift and it comes up, let go of shift and it's gone again. So what have we got on track 7? This is a good one, I like this one. This is the shaker, it's an FM shaker. Let's solo it. Have a listen to this. So let's go into it. We've got this phrase 70, instrument 02, it's obviously semi-quavers all the way through, a note on every step. It's a WAV synth shaker, it's a noise to get that shaker. Again, interesting bit of programming, not a sample as you would think. High pass filter, letting through all that top. And if we go up to the mods page, quite a bit happening. You've got an attack, hold and decay envelope on the volume, and over here you've got an LFO controlling the panning. Right, one more track to go, and it's track 8, and we'll solo this. And on track 8, from step 4 onwards, we've got the FM hi-hats. So again, semi-quavers, you've got a panning which is random. Here we are, FM of course. You've got a high pass filter, you've got the limiter set on sin. Amps turned up a bit, no effects on this. On the mods page, you've got an envelope on the volume, and that's all in that one. So fairly straightforward, this one. Any tables? Yes, you've got a hop command. Lots happening there. So there we are, that's our 8 tracks. Let's go to our snare drum, and what I'll do here is I'll just put a bit of reverb on it, just for my own liking, my own personal taste. So it's track 6, we'll solo it, so we can hear it. Maybe change the cut-off slightly. One final thing I'm going to show you is the way that I play my M8 through my Reason sequencer using the effects I've got on there. So let's just get that up and running. I've got to match the tempo, so it's 1, 3, 0. I use a thing called Tornado by Sugar Bytes. This is a great little plug-in for mangling stuff. Let's just run the track. Tornado is great, you know, it's got some great effects in it. It's not that expensive either. So we'll come off that and let's just do a little bit of beat repeating in Reason here. Really like that, and just some straightforward effects down here. This sweeper, which is this one here. Chorus flanger, delay. Obviously set very high, but it's good fun. Scream, which is distortion. I'll show you this. I'll show you the phaser. All kinds of fun, and obviously this is all for you to do as you will. Once you own the album, you own the bundle, and you've got it in your M8, you can muck around with it as much as you like. The live mode on the actual M8 is also good fun to mess around with. Let's show you a little bit of that. So we'll just run the track. Go into live mode by holding shift and left, and you can muck around with things and bring things in. So I want to bring something in over here. Like this. Change the order of things. So you can change the order of things, have loads of fun. That's a much longer video than I thought it would be, but there was an awful lot to say. I hope you found it interesting. Go and get Mikey's album, mess around with it. Go and get Llama's album and Jeremy's album. They're great fun. Put them in your M8, learn from them, be inspired by them, and then go and make your own music. Thank you very much for watching, and you'll see me in my next video.